Hello YouTube, this is September Designs coming at you with another signature video tutorial. This time we're going to be focusing on a style I call gradient style. It is mostly just gradients that we are going to be creating using selections like the lasso tool, the ellipse tool, and the rectangular tool, using filters on them, and then that's going to be the main way that we're going to create the signature. I already selected a stock, and it's Jinx from League of Legends. Thanks to Dolo True for cutting out the render. And also this is going to be for Emolga 18 on Dueling Network forums, which is cool because I was going to be making a Jinx signature anyways because I really like the character design. I love the colors that they used for her. And that's going to help us in our signature creation also, because whenever you're making a signature, you want to keep in mind the stock's colors in your color selection for the main composition. So he's going to go to new, and I have it set to signature 1. And you're not going to have that. You're just going to have use paper and below. And the way that you make your own preset is very easy. You just go to your width and height and pick 480 by 240 or whatever you use for your signatures. Make sure that dimensions are set to pixels, and then go to save preset, and then just name it whatever you like so that you can recognize it for later. And I'm not going to save it because I already have it over here. So signature 1. And make sure to name it something that you're going to recognize for later. So Jinx Emolga 18. Okay, let's get started. So for the signature style, we're going to have 3 colors that we're going to be using. So here, I want to use this as an example. So one color is the background, as you can see, and the same one, it's blue and dark blue. And this one here, I forget what the name of these guys are, but it's white and black, or white and gray. And then there's going to be a second color, which is going to be the second primary. It's blue and purple. And then the third is purple and yellow. It has to be like 3 colors that complement each other. For this one, we're going to use pink as a background, and then we're going to use the second primary as purple, and then the third color to be a cyan and a dark blue. Alright, so I'm going to start out by making the first layer a gradient, and choosing this angled gradient selection. Like there's radial, and then there's normal gradient, and then there's this angled one. Right now it's set to lighten, so it's not going to make anything happen to the background. So we got pink, and as for the second color, I want it to be a lighter pink. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to drag the render on there. You should probably have put the render first, but I don't know. I guess things are backwards today, but we're going to end up fixing it anyways. So I just hit Control T, that creates a transform box, and then it creates this menu bar up here where you can easily change the percentage 50 by 50. And now that it's smaller, I can see the edges, so I can use my mouse to hover around the corners. And meanwhile, holding shift, I can make it as small as I want, and easily manipulate it. Now I'm going to slightly rotate it. There we go. Alright, now that's better. So last signature, on my stained glass tutorial, I was talking a little bit about flow when placing your render, and keeping it in mind for when you're placing down your effects, but the flow didn't come out all that well. It was really messy, so I'm gonna try to work on that myself, and also that way I can demonstrate it better to you guys, and also that way you guys can do it on yours too. So right now, I'm going to use the leg as our direction for flow. So our effects should be like water going upstream this way. So try to use that as a visual. All right. So the first effect that we're going to lay down, we're going to create it by using the Marquee tool. And the first Marquee that's selected is the rectangular Marquee. But as you can see, there is this triangle here, which means that there's more selections that you can choose from. We're going to use the elliptical Marquee tool, and we're going to use this double box, which means that when you create one Marquee and then create a second one, it attaches to the first one. So this is going to help us create our effect. Originally, all it does is, like, if you have it selected to normal, whenever you make a new one, it erases the old Marquee. Alright, so let's start creating. I like to use perfect circles, so when you expand the Marquee tool, hold shift. Alright, so what was the main color I was going to choose? Oh, purple, yeah, okay. So, going to choose gradient again. And while holding Alt, this eyedropper comes out, and I'm just going to select the purple from the render to make things quicker. Now we want this to be a dark purple. Not that dark. There we go. And then a vibrant pink. Yeah, that's a good pink. I like that pink. And then using the radial gradient. Oh. So the primary color is the dark, so that's what is being the center of the gradient tool. But we want the bright to be the center. So I'm going to fix that by hitting X. Oh, and then we're going to want to set it to lighten after applying the first one. And now the bright pink is going to be in the center. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to make a couple more copies of this. Or, yeah, a couple more copies. Then Control T, make it a little smaller. The ratio got messed up, so I'm going to fix it up here. 65 by 65. Then combine them together. Control J. Then combine these together. And you can see that it's following that direction that I was talking about. But it's not quite the right purple though. So I'm going to go to Huesaturation, Control Alt J or G. That's going to apply it to this layer specifically. As you can see, there's an arrow connected to this layer. And I'm going to get it closer to that purple. There we go. Alright, and I'm just going to combine them for the sake of saving time. Alright, next I'm going to go to the lasso tool, and I'm going to use the original lasso tool that should be there unless you've changed it. And then over here under feather, I'm going to change that to 15 pixels. For you, it should be set to 0 unless you've changed it. And I'm going to select the original right here also. And what feather does is it creates a gradient when you're making a selection. So here I'll show you a quick example. I'm just going to make this quick selection, and you can see that it turned into a more round and smaller selection, and when I hit delete, it creates a gradient. Versus the alternate, where if it was set to 0 pixels, it would just cut it to the line. So like that. Alright, so 15 pixels. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just tracing the outline of these effects, of these gradient bubbles. And now that we've created a selection, we're going to apply a filter to it under Distort and Ripple. And this is sort of a personal preference. It's whatever you like whatever fits your taste and you think is aesthetically pleasing. Like this, I personally think it's a little too much. So I'm going to go down to medium and just set this as high as it can be. Alright, and then now I'm going to apply another filter, Distort. You could always, undo these things. So that's why experimenting is so, useful and important when creating a signature. Then maybe I want to apply Ripple again. Nah, how about... Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, now I'm going to do it to the bottom. Okay, filter, distort, ripple, medium, large, medium. Okay. Let's see, how does that look? Okay. Now filter, distort, wave, randomize a couple times. Let's see, how does that come out? All right. Okay, now I'm going to go to filter, liquefy. Gonna drag this down. Alright, now we're going to do another cool little effect. We're going to go to the Marquee tool, choose the elliptical Marquee tool, feather. You can also apply feather to the Marquee tools too. I'm going to do like about 10 pixels. And now I'm going to select a few spots, filter, distort, twirl. I hit Control Alt F, and that brings up the menu to adjust filter parameters. So, cool little shortcut to remember. Alright, now we're going to add the blues. So 0 pixels. This one should take up less space than the purple did. Okay, now we're going to choose colors using the eyedropper tool again. And using the same method that we did before. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did the purple layer. Outline. Distort, ripple. Okay. Now I'm just gonna apply a wave to it all as a whole. See how that turns out. I think it should be like a brighter purple overall. I mean brighter blue. So gonna go to gradient map, then Control Alt G, so it applies it to just that. Yeah, exactly what I wanted. Okay, Control E, Control J, because I feel like we need more blue. All right. And now we're going to make some little lines to help the flow. And I'm going to choose this very vibrant pink. So making a new layer. Going to go over to Marquee tools and pick single row Marquee tool. And still having the multiple selection options highlighted. And just making a bunch of lines. Alright, now we're going to go to paint bucket. And then using the eyedropper tool. And then Control D to deselect it. Now applying that to the background. Control T. I want to shrink that actually. Alright, gonna make another copy of it, put it up here, then another copy, one down here. Now I'm gonna combine these three together, make another copy so that it becomes a little brighter, and then another copy to be even more brighter. Then combine those together, then Control J, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. This gives it a little bit of a highlight or like a glow to it. I'm gonna go to FX, color overlay, because the pink is not quite bright enough. Gonna do the same to this. I'll use yellow because I really want these to stand out. Alright, gonna go with yellow instead. And I'm gonna do the same thing to it like I was before. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and that gives it a little bit of a glow. And then I'm gonna copy this layer and I'm gonna set this one to dissolve and then set it down to about 3 pixels. There we go. I don't like that red that is showing up because of the blood, so I'm going to actually erase that. So erase. There we go. Alright, now we're going to create some white gradients, radial gradients actually. So I'm going to make this white actually. This will help because it's really busy right now, and the white will make some spots less busy. Alright, so yeah, we're going to choose white. And something I'm going to do is wherever this gradient is, I'm going to delete the layers underneath and make the background show up. So I'm going to start out by placing one right here and then highlighting it, then deleting that. As you can see, I deleted a little chunk off of the render. And now, I'm going to place these in a group, these background layers. All except the pink. Control I, there we go. Alright, so I had to kind of just concentrate and place them. But now that all of them are placed, I'm just using the wand tool to select outside and using Control I and then G to bring out the paint bucket tool, X to create default color palette, white and black, and then placing black. Okay, that didn't work. Hold on. All right. All right, so we're just about done here. There's only one more layer that we have to create, and it's like this star stock. It's really easy though, but I would suggest to take some more time and try messing around with more stuff like more filters, and mess with like where things are placed. Because I know after I'm done with this video, I'm not going to be done with this. I'm going to be messing around with the layer adjustments a little bit more and also the placement, but who knows, it could be done also. Okay, so Next, we're going to go to New Layer. Then we're going to go to Brush. Then we're going to select Hard Brush, Window, Brush. And then we're going to go to Shape Dynamics. And then we're going to go to Size Jitter. Let's see which one's better. Okay, off. Yeah. Yeah, size jitter seems about all that we need. And then spacing, scattering, count, there. So I kind of just messed with it until I got something that looked good in here in the example. Because I want it to be random, because as you can see, the alternation between small and big is quite random. And I don't want to have to individually change each brush. So shape dynamics 100%, minimum diameter 0, and angle jitter 0, roundness jitter 0, control off, scattering 305%, count 2, and is caps lock on? Yes, no. Okay. Oh no, it's just, I don't know why it's, okay, there we go. Alright, so opacity 100%. Now, I'm going to go and use the paint bucket tool. And I'm going to go to black. Oh no, that's dark blue. Black. Now, brush tool. White. Setting it down to 6 pixels. Now we're going to go to lighten for now. And all I'm doing is making just a few. Okay. You don't need too many. And then I'm going to copy this layer. Then filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Alright, I think we want color dodge. There we go, much better. And if you want it to have color, all you need to do is go to Huesaturation and apply it to the layer that we blurred. And go to colorize. Well, let me set this to normal so I can see the color better. Then gonna boost up the saturation. There we go. Color dodge. There, the red's better actually. Alright, next all we need is a lighting layer. And I'm going to do that by using a gradient. Setting it to transparent. And white is already selected. And using the radial gradient. And now I gotta pick the light source, it's right here. Then filter, blur, Gaussian blur. now got to darken the edges. So we're going to go to gradient map. Choose the black and white gradient. This is also a good tool because when it's black and white, you can kind of see your values a lot more clear and see if your mixtures of blacks and whites is good. And then he's going to set it to multiply. And in the layer mask here, whatever you use black on is not going to appear. So I'm going to use the transparent gradient. Oh, it's set to lighten. And that's just about it.
Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. If you liked the video, feel free to click on that like button and also subscribe to see more from me in the future. Currently, I am working on creating signature video tutorials. I even have one already on here. So if you want, you can click on that. And also doing a vlog series and just be expecting content in the future in general. Alright, well, signing off. See you guys later.